everyone, What's Carlton here. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training. Today is an open Q&A day. Some of you have questions. Some of you have questionable questions. So do we have a question? Do we have our first victim?
We do have a question.
Changing a report causes records to sort. Now, the word, back up, Margaret. What does changing a report potentially mean? Would you like to give me as a consultant, nowhere in the FileMaker book, anywhere does it say changing is not a verb.
Anyway. I assume that the data has been altered in some fashion, like you deleted an invoice or
you could have navigated from report A to report B. Who knows?
Or B, yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm going to read that was the title. Now let's read the question. And I'll throw this to you folks. I have a system I've created. I want to make a change to one of the reports. I have a button that when pressed, it looks at all the events in the past 7 days and sorts them into categories. Works perfectly. It's worked for a long time. I decided to change what it looks for, but as soon as I make a change to the layout, when I reopen the file, says 2,400 records to sort message. This happens if I make a change to any report, which is leaving me confused. I've decided to, okay, so here's the deal. I'm not totally clear on this. It's one of those deals like it'd be better visually to see what the person was doing. But generally, if you change the found set of records, and you have the layout is set to, or the sort is set to maintain the sort order. If we want to kind of do that, Margaret, if you want to kind of show that.
You'll have to restart the whole thing. Yeah.
It's gonna. So let's talk about sorts real quick. We haven't talked about this in a long time. So we go back to our sample database here. Let's just go to work orders and go to list view. Lift that and then hit the list view button up there, top left, Margaret. List view.
Nope, oh, there it is.
Let's just say we're going to do a sort. So hit the sort button at the top, or Command or Control S.
Oh, Command S.
Okay, now here's the deal. We're going to do a sort on the right. That's what we're going to sort on. Down below. So on the left is all the things we can select from. That you can specify the sort order, things like that right there. Then down below, skip the summary stuff. The very bottom says keep records in sort order. So understand that if you have this selected, we hit sort right now. Go ahead and hit sort for fun, Margaret. Just go ahead and do that. So if we do anything to the found set here, FileMaker will go, hey, because normally, remember the behavior of FileMaker. There's 3 kinds of sort statuses. There's sorted, there's not sorted, which makes sense. There's also this in-between red-haired stepchild that we all hate, right? Like Cinderella was the hated stepchild, is semi-sorted. Well, like, what the hell is semi-sorted? It means that it was sorted once upon a time. Then you did some and added a record, for example. And so, but it didn't resort. So it knows that it was sorted mostly, but it's off a little bit. That's what semi-sort is. And some people are like, oh, I want it to be sorted perfectly at all times. Fine, check the checkbox. So when you change something, then it re-triggers a sort. So if you do a find right now, whether you see it or not, it'll re-trigger a sort, okay? Because of that checkbox, which also means that this will throw you off. I was sitting there one day on my computer, I'm working, doing some work, and suddenly I'm watching my processor. Mark, can you show your doc? Now look at click on the activity monitor on the left. We have the same things called Task Manager on Windows. And so you see the amount of CPU that's being loaded here, right? So if your computer's not doing anything, like Margaret's broadcasting, so there's this low level of churn that's going through. But if you're sitting there, you're not doing anything, that should be like a flat line. It's dead, Jim, right? Just a flat line at the bottom, nothing going on. Maybe a little spike once in a while if your email checks or something. But you're sitting there in FileMaker and you start getting this traffic, and you're sitting there maybe having a sandwich, a drink, having lunch. You're like, I'm not talking about FileMaker server. I'm talking about your workstation. And then you come over to this screen here, or the similar screen on Windows, and you look and you click on CPU, and it finds, like right now, Zoom is using 36%. But you look over there and it's FileMaker using 45 or 50%. And you're like, what the hell? You can have a deal where Sally down the hallway is running a process that's part of the process generates new records. And your computer is supposed to keep them sorted. And so your computer keeps seeing new records being dumped on it from the server. So Sally creates them. They get saved to the server. Server goes, hey, there's Ed Burkle. He needs to know about this. Send those records to him. And your client goes, oh, shit, I was supposed to keeping them sorted. So it starts keep them sorted, right? And it's panting and running behind you. That's what your FileMaker is doing. It's panting, running behind you, trying to keep up. Just keep that in mind, that checkbox can cause unexpected performance stuff, but you'll never get semi-sorted. Semi-sorted was fine for a lot of years. That feature, that keep it all sorted all the time, was something added, I don't want to say 12, 15 years ago, but I've been doing this 34 years. For the first 18 or 19 years, everyone was okay with semi-sorted.
So basically, you think that option is checked for this guy, which is why every
Yes,
time you add
I'm
something.
guessing that if you bring it back to that, okay, it's going to resort if you change the found set, or someone adds, if someone adds a record and it goes into your found set, someone else changed your found set for you. But one way or the other, your found set, something changed, and it's.
Well, yeah, a good example is this CMS, because whenever you add a new record to CMS, you add a date, it promptly resorts the entire list.
Right.
No.